In today's world, everybody's chasing the wrong things, and that's why this hits hard. If you're a humble, nice person without money, when you have money, you're gonna be even a bigger and more humble and nicer person. And vice versa. You're making bad decisions in life and you're chasing things that you're not supposed to be chasing. Whatever it is that you're chasing and you're doing it the wrong way, and you're frauding people, you're stealing from people, you're hurting other people intentionally just to make it to the top. Trust me, making it to the top won't fix any of those. You hear from people who actually make it is different. Fame adds pressure, money removes some problems but exposes others. And success has a way of turning up the volume on whatever is already going on inside of you. And that's the part that most people don't talk about. Do you know what the crazy part about this video? The crazy part is this should have went out probably about 2 to 3 weeks ago, but due to my user error, my mic was not working. So I actually made this video, a whole video and a few clips, and I realized my mic was not working. So here we go again. So welcome everyone. Welcome to my newest video. Today we're going to be talking about listings and how to list your home, how to hire a realtor to list your home. This is for consumers. What to do, what to ask, how to go about it if you are in the market of looking to sell your house and just confused. If you don't know where to start, this is the video to watch. I'm going to break it down from day one to the end. How to start, what to do through the process, and how the process should go. And I'm going to give you a few examples and scenarios of personal listings of mine and how they went to help you understand this market and help you understand some of the things that you might be going through yourself. So here you are, you're looking to sell your home. Maybe you have searched this, you stumbled upon this video and you don't know where to start. So I made this video to help people to kind of guide them in the right direction and right path of selling their homes. The process is very simple. It could seem very overwhelming for some people, especially people new and don't know where to start. It's a very simple process. I think it's easier for me to say just because I've been through this hundreds of times. Point of me saying is anytime you have any obstacles to overcome, there are solutions, and we are the solution to the market. We as in realtors or real estate agents. So to get started, obviously, there are certain ways you can go about this. You can hire an auction company. You could do it yourself. You could try to sell it yourself, or you could hire a real estate agent. I'm going to focus on two of these options today. I'm going to focus on doing it yourself, and I'm going to focus on definitely hiring a real estate agent. So FSBOs, we call for sale by owners, are listings you could find online that are currently listed by the owner and they're looking to sell it themselves. Now, these doesn't mean you necessarily cannot get an agent to represent you on the buyer side, but that's for another video. They just simply mean the owner is looking to sell their property by themselves. You can definitely purchase a for sale by owner, and you could definitely go that route of selling the home by yourself, which we'll get in more depth with later on in this video. The other option is hiring a real estate agent, which is the option I'm going to recommend. Not that it's a biased decision or something, because I'm a real estate agent myself, but as you see here right behind me, SoldbyAfif, it's not that. It's simple math. It's simple. Hiring a real estate agent is so you can get more protection, so you don't mess up the paperwork. You know what you're doing. You have somebody by your side representing you, guiding you, helping you, etc. It can go such a long way. So let's talk about that. So hiring a real estate agent, there's so many avenues you can go down to figure out who do you want to work with. You could simply search them online. It was back in the day that I guess they used to use newspaper. I don't know. I got licensed in 2016. Ever since then, we've just been doing online. So that's the way I know. You could probably simply Google them. You could simply walk into any real estate office in your local area and say, I want to sell my house. And they'll set you up with an agent. But most people are looking people up before even meeting them. So highest chance of getting and filtering out some agents to save you time is probably doing a quick Google search. look at them, look at their reviews. If they have social media, look at their social media. Such as myself, I am going to be heavy on, I have always been heavy on social media, but now I'm doubling down and just simply marketing myself on social media only. So look them up on YouTube, look them up on Facebook, Instagram. Most agents have a Facebook or Instagram. And see how active they are. See if their character fits yours. And that's pretty much step one. Step two, schedule the appointment. Look at it this way. As a consumer, you're pretty much interviewing agents for a job. If you were to call 5 electricians, 5 plumbers, however many you want to call, to come give you a quote and see if they are best fit for the job, it's very similar to that. So schedule the appointments. I'd say no more than 4 or 5 agents and interview them all and see what best fits you. Doesn't have to be always about money. People like, can you do this for less and that for less? And that's not what you should be focusing on in the transaction, because trust me, the old saying, you get what you pay for. Interview the agent, see who they are, their morals, their values. Are they going to work hard for you? Are they going to go above and beyond? Look at those things as well as money, but not just money alone. So in the interview process, it's very simple. You should be asking the questions: why should I hire you to be the agent to represent me? How many deals have you closed? Show me things you have done for other sellers and other clients. Give me some examples. What are you going to do for me? How are you going to take pictures? Are you going to do videos? Are you going to do open houses? Are you going to do mailers? Are you going to do postcards? You should be asking all of these questions. And you can tell agents that are prepared either come with something or they just have that confidence. And you can tell they have been doing this, especially how many listings they have had in the past year or 2 or 3. Ask them, are you new to this market? Are you new as an agent? Are you a newer agent? When did you get licensed? After you got like some people get licensed in 2000, but then they put their license in escrow for 20 years and then they get back into it during COVID, let's say. Ask those questions. You have to know, because that's ultimately going to give you information to see if this agent fits you best or not. So ask these questions and see what you're most comfortable with. I always say this: if you feel the person is right, that's the person. Like it's just like finding a loved one, right? If you feel like that's the one, that's the one. In real estate, it's probably going to be one of the biggest transactions you have made. So I highly recommend getting someone you trust. That's my go-to in this business, because if you trust the agent you work with, you're never going to doubt them. You're never going to second guess what they're doing. If they're doing things right, you always are going to go to sleep at night knowing they are doing their job and knowing they have your back, without any stress over it, any worries, any doubts. So go by that rule. If I were you, I would just say to yourself, do I trust this person? Can I hire this person to do pretty much one of the biggest financial decisions of my life? Most people are, when they sell their home or buy a home, that's going to be one of their biggest financial decisions, because we're talking about $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 homes. So you definitely need someone on your side that you could trust. And I definitely would focus on that point. If you feel like that's the agent, that's the one, I can trust them. I can go to sleep at night knowing they're doing what they're supposed to do. I can be rest assured knowing they are ethical, they are law abiding, they are just morally good people, then go for it. That's the one. That's the one, because that's the one that's going to step in when things fall through. That's the one that's going to be answering the calls all the time. That's the one that's going to be going above and beyond for you. And trust me, those have and hold a lot of value. Again, we're not going to be talking about commission, but what's the point of hiring someone for less if they're not going to do anything other than take a few photos on their iPhone and just post them on the MLS? What's the point of that? You could do that. What is the point of that? You need someone that's well versed in this market. So make sure you do your interviews and just get in depth with the conversation. Do 1 or 2 interviews. So do the first interview with the 4 or 5 people you chose, and then pick your top 2. Do another second interview and then make your choice there. Right? So that's step number one. Step number two, when you have found an agent, he or she will provide you with paperwork that you must sign and fill out, which is like a listing contract, consumer notice, seller's disclosure. If the property was built prior to 1978, a lead-based paint disclosure, and so on and so forth. And any other like disclosures, there's certain brokerage mandated. So after the paperwork gets signed, then that's when the agent schedules photos, video, and basically gets their marketing together. That's the marketing period. So very good agents, and which you should be knowing this and in their interview process. How are you going to list my home? Where are you going to list my home? Are there any strategies you recommend for my type of home? Should we list it on a Friday? Should we list it on Monday? Should we list it in the spring? Should we list it in the summer? All those are important questions, and the right agent will know the answer to all of these and give you feedback on what they believe is the best way to market your house to get top dollar for it. So be ready to be asking those questions. It's okay for the meeting to go on for 2 hours or more. I've had things go on for 3+ just because we connected so much, and that's okay. So at that time, the agent will be putting their marketing plan that you and the agent talked about together, and putting that in effect, from taking photos, videos, etc. I have actually a few things on my desk here I wanted to go over with when it comes to that kind of stuff. I personally love using a DSLR camera, which is I have here. I have it on this tripod. I think I have like 4 or 5 tripods. This is a short tripod that you could bend and stuff, so you could like install it wherever you want to install it and take great photos. With this, actually what I did was I got a wide angle lens that can go down to 10 millimeters. It came with this normal lens that can go up from 18 to 55. And then this lens goes from 75 all the way up to 300. This is for like a zoom. So I have a couple lenses I use to get the shot that I feel like that is needed for the certain room. So if I'm taking pictures outside and I need to zoom in on something, I could use the zoom lens, and so on and so forth. Especially those small bathrooms, I could use the wide angle to kind of get, everything in the shot. So that's what I do for camera. Sometimes I incorporate these iPhone 17 Pros, their cameras are ridiculous. So sometimes I incorporate some iPhone pictures for certain things, especially with portrait and the focus stuff on the iPhone. That's just amazing. And then, as you know, I have another video on this. I do drone myself. Now, as an agent, your agent could hire someone to do everything I just talked about. You don't have to have your agent do everything. That's up to your agent and what you guys decide on. But I personally, I'm very like a nerdy techie person, especially with electronics. So I'd love to have the DSLR. I love to have drones. This is the DJI Mavic 4 Pro, which is actually not sold in the US anymore. This is top of the line Mavic DJI drone that you can get. I got the Fly More combo, so I have 3 battery packs to keep me going. I could probably bang out 4 to 5 properties in one day. So I could probably do videos, exterior videos and photos for 4 to 5 properties in one day just using those 3 batteries. This thing is amazing. I would definitely invest in this if you're into this kind of stuff. And check your local laws and what you need to do and what licenses you need to get. So alongside those two, I have my, as you see back here, the light. I use that light to change different light settings in the pictures. And then this is my second favorite thing. It's the DJI, I think it's called I don't know, but it has a gimbal. It has a gimbal you can move around. It's a pretty cool, neat feature, and it's great to use. So I definitely use this as well. So that's one of the other gadgets I use alongside some other tripods and stuff like that. So realtor will set up the photos, set up for video, whether they're doing it themselves or doing it, hiring somebody to do it. After that, you could do coming soon period. The listing gets launched basically, and then the realtor will syndicate everything, make sure everything is popping up everywhere so you can get max exposure. They might go as far as putting it in the newspaper, putting it in a local. I think we did one recently where we put it in the local farmers market, because we felt like that listing, the clientele for that type of home are definitely going to be looking in that certain area. So we decided to do that, and social media ads on social media, so on and so forth. After that, maybe open houses, generate an offer for you, which is the whole goal of this. At that point, you and your realtor will be discussing offer, hopefully multiple offers, and selecting the best one that fits you. Agreement of sale in Pennsylvania is about 14 pages long, so it's a lot of stuff to comprehend and go through. So this is why it's very important to hire a real estate agent, so they can break it down for you. You'll get a better understanding of what each offer means. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier about selling the property by yourself. You have to have a contract, an agreement, and unless you're going to write that yourself, I guess you would hire somebody else to do it, and at that point you're spending money anyways. Trust me, contracts are not for the average to write. There's so many things that can go wrong and haywire in a transaction. You want to be covered on all sides, which is why we as realtors have access to these forms that were written by attorneys at the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors. They were well thought out. They have probably 1 million changes up till today, which is what you see the newest style or newest version of the agreement of sale, to protect both parties and to make sure it's fair for both parties. So anyway, you accept the offer at that time. Then you go into a period called escrow. That escrow period could be as quick for me. The quickest one I've done was like 3 days, just because title was ready, and we'll talk about that in a second. It can go up to like 6 months if it's a short sale, and we'll talk about that too. There's so many things to it. So the escrow period is you're under contract. When you see me post on social media, under contract or under agreement or pending, when you see those terms online, that's pretty much what it means. It means a seller has accepted an offer on their property, and now he's under contract on that offer until it closes, unless something happens and it goes back on the market, whether it's buyer losses financing, buyer changed their mind, inspections, other contingencies. Buyer was looking to sell their home to buy this home and their home fell through. It can go so many ways. So anyway, the escrow period, pretty simple. Customarily, you'll see inspections, although we have not seen it this much in the past 4 or 5 years due to our situation here. It is a seller's market, so buyers are more willing to waive stuff. So you'll do your inspections. There's a due diligence for that with a set amount of time, set amount of days. So that gets done. Once that gets done, buyer, or right before that gets done, buyer orders title. Buyer makes their full complete mortgage application if there's a mortgage involved. If not, then none of that has to happen except title. And after that, they go to appraisal and clear any conditions. You get a mortgage commitment, and I'm just reciting how a normal deal should go. And then you got to clear to close. Everybody makes an appointment. Buyer does their final walkthrough, and then we go to settle. Very simple, very easy, but it doesn't go that way every single time. And trust me, my partner and I have seen the craziest of things happen in the past year or two. It just becomes natural for us to overcome obstacles just because we've been through it all. And that's what you need on your side. You need someone to help you go through things when they go sideways. That's pretty much it. Then you go to closing. Yay, you're happy, you got your money, everything is done. And on average, you will net more if you hire a real estate agent. Now I understand you're paying your real estate agent commission. I get it. But on average, you will net more because your real estate agent is going to take professional photos, the right one. The right real estate agent is going to publish it and market it in the right market, in the right areas. and the right real estate agent is going to be able to negotiate better than you. Now think about this. This is not something to offend anyone that they don't know how to negotiate. I'm sure you do. But if you think about this, if you hire a real estate agent that's doing this full time, that works with buyers and with sellers, chances are they're going to be able to help you more than you can help yourself, even though you can negotiate. You could be a car salesman, but you know how to sell cars, not real estate, right? So that's the type of person you need on your side. Someone who can someone who can understand you, someone you can trust, someone who is loyal to you, and someone who definitely can sell and negotiate and be by your side. They're going to be your best friend. That's what I tell all my clients. You're going to be my best friend for the next 30 to 60 days on average. Is that cool with you? And if they say yes, boom. Most of my clients, though, are my friends. So this is, to me, it's like second nature. This is easy. I love doing this. I do this full time, and I love listings and I love buyers. I work with both. I work with investors as well. That's a whole different ball game. But let's take a step back a little bit. Let's talk about title. What did I mean when I said buyer orders title? Your agent could explain this to you, but buyer pretty much sends the agreement of sale and any other addendum to a title company of their own. So title company can start their search about the deed, their search about the people, and so on and so forth, to make sure they're conveying clear title from you, the seller, to the new buyer. Think of it this way. It's like title for a car, but this is a deed for a house, pretty much it. This takes about, if it's a cash transaction, usually in our counties, Lehigh, Northampton, the two big ones here in the Lehigh Valley, it takes about 14 days to close a cash deal, because that's how long it takes for the title to get city, county, school, tax certs, and do their searches and prep the paperwork and so on and so forth. And then I also mentioned short sale. What I mean by short sale, because sometimes, like I said, it takes up to 6 months. Short sale is when you're selling your property for less than what you owe on it. Your net proceeds are going to be less. So let's say you have a mortgage of about $200,000 and you're selling it for, let's say, $200,000, and you're paying fees. So your take home is like $180,000. So that $180,000 is less than the $200,000. You still owe $20,000. So you're actually selling your property short of the mortgage amount. And what happens there is, it's called a short sale. You have to get bank approval. The bank gets involved because the bank ultimately wants their money. And then there's some type of settlement, some type of negotiation, some type of agreement, I'm sure. And that takes a while. So not only does the seller have to accept the offer, the bank also has to make sure they're selling it for a fair market value, so the bank could recuperate as much as their profit, or as much as their money back. It's not going to be profit. It's probably going to be at a loss, but it is what it is. So that's a little bit about short sale. Anyway, this video is not about that. It's more focusing on listings, and I'm glad I'm able to do this. Like I said, I've done this video before. It's just my mic wasn't working, but now I did test it and everything's working and fine. So I'm very happy I'm able to post this, because I'm looking forward to see how many people this will affect, how many people this will help. And by the end of this video, I hope you have learned something, because most people that some people that I sit with have absolutely no idea how to buy or sell a home. So I came up with this idea. You know what? Why not make a video about it? This video is great because I could send to my clients who are interested in maybe selling their home. And it's a quick tour of what's to come in the next coming months if you're looking to sell your home. So there you have it. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. And one thing I wanted to do is end my videos with something motivational and something that can touch the hearts of most. And for today's episode, I wanted to talk about something I read this the other day and saved it. I figured this would be great to share with you guys, and this did it for me. It's a Jim Carrey quote. And the guy says it hits harder the older I get, which I truly, truly do agree with this, because if I read this 10 years ago, it wouldn't have probably made sense to me at all. So here it goes. So this is by Jim Carrey. I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of, so they can see that it's not the answer. I'll say that again. I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that it is not the answer. And in today's world, everybody's chasing the wrong things, and that's why this hits hard, especially now that I'm 35 years old. It goes on to say, he's not saying money or success are bad. He's saying they don't do what we quietly expect them to do. A lot of people think fulfillment is waiting on the other side of more money, more recognition, and more wins. So we keep chasing, assuming peace will eventually catch up. What you hear from people who actually make it is different. So I'm sharing this because not everyone's at the top 10. Not everyone's at the top 1%. And for those of you who are not, and you are working hard day in and day out and putting everything, your heart and soul into everything that you're doing, I applaud you, and I wanted to share this with you specifically. So what you hear from people who actually make it is different. Fame adds pressure. Money removes some problems but exposes others. And success has a way of turning up the volume on whatever is already going on inside of you. That gave me goosebumps saying that again. Success has a way of turning up the volume of whatever already is going on inside you. That speaks volumes. And that's what I was discussing in my last podcast, that if you're a humble, nice person without money, when you have money, you're going to be even a bigger and more humble and nicer person. And vice versa. If you're not so nice, that's the nicest way I could put it. I want to use a different word. If you're not so nice when you're broke, you're going to be more of a not so nice, insert the word I would really want to use here, when you have money. It goes on to say, that's why this resonates with so many high achievers. You can hit the goals and you can quote unquote win, and you could still feel unsettled. External success is powerful. It's just not the cure to everything. If you don't like who you are or how you're living on the way up, the view at the top won't fix that. Wow, that gave me goosebumps. So I'll repeat that again. If you don't like who you are or how you're living on the way up, the view at the top won't fix that. So if you're chasing money and you're making bad decisions in life and you're chasing things that you're not supposed to be chasing, whatever it is that you're chasing, and you're doing it the wrong way, and you're frauding people, you're stealing from people, you're hurting other people intentionally just to make it to the top, trust me, making it to the top won't fix any of those. And that's the part that most people don't talk about. That's crazy, right? So I figured I'd share this with you guys because this really hit home with me. If you want this quote, just shoot me a message. I'll screenshot it and send it to you so you could read it more slow. Because you have to decipher between the words. This really hit home for me, and I'm glad I was able to share this with you guys because it just puts a lot of things into perspective for me. Like if you apply this to some people in your life and you're like, wow, this fits the shoe, right? This person fits. And it just, listen, if nobody's there to motivate you, if you don't have a hero, a figure, whatever you want to call it, to help you get up every single day and do the absolute best you can, and if stuff like this does it, then read more stuff like this. Because honestly, in 2016, when I became a realtor, all I did was listen to podcasts of the MF CEO. And that truly changed my mind of thinking. It turned my mind 360 degrees. Because let me tell you, there was nobody there telling me every single morning or every single afternoon or every single evening what I needed to hear. And I know the truth sometimes hurts, but it's nice hearing it on a podcast. And that's what works for me. So if you don't have that role model that can keep pushing you and that role model that you look up to, if you don't have that person or you don't have that support, There's so many resources online you can go and read about amazing stuff like this. If I read this every single day, trust me, I'll be a different man in a year. And that's it. Thank you for listening. I will see you soon on the next podcast. Take care, guys.